OnlyFans girls who are sex workers are prostitutes. Prostitutes are whores. Whores are prostitutes. Prostitutes are sex workers.
That's not even true, dude. What? So if you go into OnlyFans and just take pictures, does that make you all of these things? Of course not. Yeah, no, bro. You lost me. Absolutely not. So chat, let's go take a look here because Tectone was actually banned from Twitch. Tectone was banned yesterday, chat, and I believe it was for an entire week. Pretty crazy, right? So, of course, Tectone goes on to say, I just found out why I got banned. It's even more hypocritical than I could have imagined. What's up, Captain Peter? So, Tectone did go on to release a YouTube video on why he got banned. So, chat, let's go take a look at what exactly happened and why he got banned. I'm very interested to know myself, so I'm going to skip ahead here just a little bit, chat, because I know where it starts. And here we go, guys. Here we go.
Nice. And most importantly, just the overall perpetual cycle of on the internet that I get to make content of every single day. Because here at twitch.tv/Tectone, youtube.com/Tectone, kick.com.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very interested to see what Twitch has to say, right? Like, you're always innocent until proven guilty, so let's see what they say.
If you are a streamer reacting to this or a YouTuber reacting to this, I fully consent to this and I greatly encourage it. And I really appreciate you sharing some light on the absolute hypocrisy of Twitch. Now,
look, chap, you know how much I talk about all the bullshit that Twitch does to VTubers? You know I always talk about hypocrisy of their BS, so I'm very, very interested to hear what he has to say because it's probably as bad as I think it is. We'll see, though. We'll see.
Plugging out of the way, I want to walk you through the first time I ever got warned. So, to remind you guys, the first time I ever got banned was
that with
me saying that Denim's only good content was on her OnlyFans and nobody should consider her worth listening to. Which, you know, to be honest, it was a little bit mean, but where's the lie? The second time I got banned was, and this one, I believe it was the second or the third.
Was this the Froggins?
The first time I ever got banned, I believe, was for telling a Twitch chat to the which, to be completely honest, that was completely justified.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about that one.
I was reacting to anime. I told them to put a shotgun in their and to be fair,
yeah, okay,
totally
justified.
Reasonable. I absolutely wear that ban as a badge of dishonor because I went over the deep end that day. I was very grumpy, to be fair.
Yeah, I did definitely justified ban. Like, you know, I know we kid chat, but I would never go that far with saying something like that. But yeah, there you go.
I had a really big tummy ache too, but I have not ever told a chatter since then. I have learned from my mistake. Now, the next time I got banned was me calling everybody's favorite streamer, Frogan, fat.
Okay, it was.
Now,
I remember that.
To remind you that Frogan is roughly 5'2" and roughly 300 pounds. So I got banned for a descriptor. I called Frogan fat. I get banned for 2 weeks.
That's toxic behavior, right, chat? Like, you shouldn't be saying that to people, you know? I get where you're coming from, Irish, because it's kind of like mean. But I guess you have to also define toxicity, right? Like, people view it as like, oh, it's a fact, or it's a body shaming. You know, there's a huge conversation just in that, you know what I mean? Yeah, like, why comment on it in the first place? But yeah, I mean, it's against Twitch Community TOS. At the end of the day, chat, you don't have to be mean like that, you know what I mean? But I could see the other side of your argument as well on that. And considering, like, a lot of people don't like Froggin anyway, like, there was a huge discourse about this whole thing. So I'll let you decide how you feel on that, chat. For me, like, I don't feel like you should say mean stuff. Anyway, while you're on Twitch, people are going to be that as toxic and you're going to get reported for it, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, like, even if he's, like, technically correct, like, I think technically, actually, that's against Twitch TOS. But let's continue.
It gets appealed down to 2 days and 18 hours, roughly. And by the way, this is after her saying that all American soldiers deserve PTSD, and as well as America deserve 9/11.
Which is horrible.
Yes. Oh, by the way, she didn't get banned for that.
So here we go with Twitch being very, very normal, how Twitch does, and does not apply their bans equally, right? Their enforcement system is never been equal. I don't think that we've ever had any delusion about that in the least bit.
Now, let's talk about why I got banned this
You know what I mean, chat?
It's actually due to 2 streamers, not 1, but 2.
All right.
And this is great. So, Here it is, 7-day suspension for sexual requests, graphic or derogatory sexual statements, or unwanted sexual content. And you might be wondering,
Okay.
oh, techie.
That is, oh, I think I dropped something down here. What is this? Oh my God, it's a subscribe button. Wow. Well, since we're here, guys, if you're enjoying the video, don't forget, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It helps me a ton. Okay, back to the video. That's pretty strong, chat. Hold on here. Let's take a look at that. Sexual requests, graphic or derogatory sexual statements, or unwanted sexual content. So, derogatory sexual statements, you could say something really, really bad for somebody in that way, and that could happen. But the violation here did take place on June 5th, and this violation took place on the 20th. So maybe that's the one with Frogan? I don't know. But, I mean, there's a lot of people that say a really toxic shit that don't get reprimanded for it. But here's the thing, chat. Here's the thing. When you are at the tippy top, right, you have extra scrutiny on you. So I feel like you have to be extra filtered about that kind of stuff. Anyway, let's continue.
Sexual content. And you might be wondering, oh, techie, what did you do this time? Well,
yeah, it sounds pretty rough.
There are 2 streamers who have been really talking about me for months. Actually, what's crazy is talking about me for years. And their names are Denims and Minx. Yep. Oh, man. You know where this is going, guys. So this is a whole clip of Denims mocking my trauma about worrying about my father when I told a story about how when he was deployed, he got his legs, the skin of his legs completely blown off, as well as his ear cut off in the war. Her laughing in my face and saying that he deserved it and that I probably made up the entire story. That's the first
That's
clip.
Horrible.
Here's the second one.
If that is true, I've not seen that clip, but if that is true, that's absolutely horrible.
This is Denims calling me a sexual predator on Kick. Very fun. To a total,
if it is true,
of time of recording, 47,000 people. But if we go further, it actually reached 1 million people. And trust me, Denims and I have a very shady history because I don't know why this woman.
I think they're talking maybe Kick recruiting a sex pest during Pride Month. It's so brave. Maybe they're probably referencing the Pinky Chew stuff. But like, guys, at the same time, like, you can't say stuff like that unless like the things go through, right? Like, if it's being investigated, you gotta wait for the outcome of that.
And trust me, Denims.
Yeah, I really wish you would have shown the clip. So we can put that one up on the shelf.
History because I don't know why this woman is absolutely obsessed with me. Now, here is Denims once again calling me a and saying I can't sue her because it's not defamation because in her words, I did that shit.
The reason Tectone can't sue me is because he did that shit.
And there's a whole bunch of other goodies.
I mean, like, has he been convicted of that?
In that clip. Yes, I want to let you know that this woman is so obsessed with harassing me that she is now at the point where she knows
what? Hold on, chat. Hold on. Plain is a form of defamation that involves making false and damaging statements about someone orally with the intent to harm their reputation. So, like, if that is false, I'm not saying it is. I don't know. Nothing's been proven yet, right? That would actually be slander if that's not that's not proven to be true. You know what I mean?
She might need lawyers in the very near future
for
slandering my name and defaming me on a daily basis. Yes, a woman who has
I know they all really hate
Tectone live and attempted call me a criminal, call me a tell me my father deserved to have his legs blown off and his ears cut off, which, by the way, she also calls my father a as well, which is crazy because if you look into the court documents, the only thing that happened, there was no whatsoever. So once again, also lying on the.
I think that's important to be clarified as well, but I think we can all agree his dad is a pretty bad person. You know what I mean? Like, not even a bad person, like a horrible person. Looking at what I just told you what he was convicted of, not a good person.
Truth, I've also shown documents of that on my Twitter. The other woman is another woman. Minx, known alcoholic, known drug abuser, known schizo.
What?
Goes live on Twitter and says, reminder, Tectone's dad is a and that I also have sexually assaulted 2 women, according to her. Another woman who is accusing me of crimes. Oh, and trust me, This woman is so deranged, she believes that she's lived with me.
Wait, what? Why are you acting like you know personally I lived with him, question mark? Did she? Did she actually? Yeah, I was gonna say that's literally slander though on Tectone's part. Like, there's a way I'm kind of like, Tectone, bro, what? Like...
I want to remind you I have met Minx one time at the OTK Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving, where I joined OTK. I have met her one time. Since then, I have lived with minimum a partner, a wife, or a roommate, or a girlfriend throughout my entirety of living here. Never once have I lived by myself. I have always had someone living with me the entire time I've been down in Austin. And this woman is so deranged that she thinks that I lived with her. Now, I don't know what gorgeous bald man with a beautiful beard.
I feel like people should avoid the content creators they don't like. It's not that hard. Literally, like, people make videos on people that they don't like all the time, right? But at the end of the day, like, if you don't like somebody, just move on. You know what I mean? Like, you can call out somebody, and then after that, like, there's a difference between, like, calling somebody out and being obsessive about it, right? Like, if you're constantly making videos about somebody over and over and over and over and over, you don't interact with them anymore, and you're still, like, making videos, like, you know, a year, 2 years later, something like that. That's crazy, right? Like, that's obsessive.
On a daily basis, in her STD-ridden to think that it's me, but
Okay, yeah, bro, no. You lost me there, dude. If you were out to prove your innocence, why are you gonna say stuff like that? Like, come on.
Assure you, I have never lived with this woman. I don't even know this woman outside of a one-time interaction where there was 50 other streamers there. Now, you might be wondering, why did I get banned for 7 days?
Like, dude, you want me to, like, come to this video and listen to you, support you? Like, don't throw insults like that. That's not helpful.
On twitch.tv/Tectone. Why did Twitch deem me worthy of a 7-day ban? Because
I would like to see.
I called them whores. Yep, I called 2 women with OnlyFans whores, which is, by the way, by definition.
Bro, this does not help your case. Wait, this is the actual reason? Oh, I thought this was gonna be like an actual, like, reason, dude. Nah, you cannot be toxic towards people on Twitch. You can't say stuff like that. Let's see. Introduction to safety on Twitch. Safety is the foundation beneath streamers. Moderation everybody in chat. We want to foster a community that supports and sustains streamers' ability to express themselves and provides a welcoming and entertaining environment for viewers free of illegal, harmful, and negative interactions. What? You just sank yourself even more. You should not be saying stuff like that. You should not be saying stuff like that. And do I agree that other people deserve to get banned for certain things? Absolutely. But Twitch does not permit behavior that's motivated by hatred, prejudice, or intolerance, including behavior that promotes or encourages discrimination, harassment, or violence based on the following protected characteristics. Here it is. We also provide certain protectors for each. We define protected groups as a subset of the population. I mean, I feel like it would like kind of fall almost like borderline hateful content, like in a way, right? But we prohibit unwanted comments, including comments made using emojis regarding somebody's appearance or body, sexual requests or advances, sexual objectification, and negative statements or attacks related to a person's perceived sexual behaviors or activities, regardless of their gender. It's really right there. The sentence spells it out for you, chat. It spells it out for you right here. You violated TOS, bro. You violated TOS. I mean, I'm only going off what he said that he said on stream. You know what I mean? Like, I can't speak to what Twitch's TOS applies to other people, right? Because I think we can already look at Twitch does not equally enforce stuff, right? All I can do is look at what he said and if he deserved it, right? And if that's true, then they need to enforce that. I agree with that 100%. I won't fight you on that. But what I will say is in this situation that we are looking at right now, Tectone, by definition, broke TOS. Are there other people that maybe deserved it that it's not equally enforced? I don't doubt that for a second. And if that is the case, then he deserved the same repercussions that he received. But what I can tell you is if somebody says something really shitty, right, Adrians? If you say it back, or even if you're the first person, whoever it is, right, you are still subjective to the consequences of your actions. Regardless if you said it first or not, or another person said it, you are still responsible for your actions. And you have to suffer the consequences of those. And I think that you need to remember that as well. You know what I mean? Like, it's your choice to say those things, and it's your choice to break TOS. People talk shit about me all the time, chat. That doesn't mean I have to break TOS. Doesn't even mean I have to respond. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, he broke TOS here. Negative statements or attacks related to a person's perceived sexual behaviors or activities. The W word is definitely has a negative connotation. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, but Twitch is definitely missing something in this situation, because if they're gonna ban Tectone, they need to also equally enforce this upon other people. So let's go take a look at the rest of the video, because there's another 5 minutes left. So let's take a look.
A factual statement.
That's not a factual statement. As a negative statement or attack related to persons perceived sexual behaviors or activities. Just because you view it as a statement doesn't mean that it is cleared of any responsibility or any type of action put against you for saying that. And also, you shouldn't just say that in general, just because you perceive it as a fact, right? Anyway, let's continue.
OnlyFans girls who are sex workers are prostitutes. Prostitutes are whores. Whores are prostitutes. Prostitutes are sex workers.
That's not even true, dude. What? That's not true. That correlation is insane, actually. So if you go into OnlyFans and just take pictures, does that make you all of these things? Of course not. Yeah, no, bro. You lost me. Absolutely not. Why would you say that? Oh, hold on. Let me rewind that.
OnlyFans girls who are sex workers are prostitutes. Prostitutes are whores.
Maybe, like, hold on. Maybe I'm misunderstanding something. Hold on.
Who are sex workers are a factual statement. OnlyFans girls who are sex workers are prostitutes. Prostitutes are whores. Whores are prostitutes.
Okay, I thought maybe I misunderstood something. Nah, bro.
Prostitutes are sex workers.
Yeah, like, people make all kinds of content on OnlyFans, right? Like ASMR and things like that. Like, that isn't prostitution, or foot models or all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, no. This correlation is crazy. This is just entirely untrue. Entirely untrue. Yeah, not all sex workers automatically equal being a prostitute, right? That's, yeah, no. I hard disagree. Continue. So,
banned for 2 weeks for calling a fat person fat. I got banned for 7 days for calling a whore a whore. And now, I'm sorry if that terminology upsets you, but the problem is that doesn't make it any less true. And the reality is, when I go live and I tell the truth, and I get banned for 7 days, and then you have these same women.
But okay, can we talk here a second about the word truth and facts? Bro, that is your opinion. That's not a fact. That's not truth. You know what I mean? Like, that's your truth, which is an opinion. So, yeah, dude, you're trying to turn the mast a little bit. Like, oh, it's the truth. Like, you're trying to make this seem as the truth, right? But it's not. It's your opinion.
Women, where I am only calling that out of defense. I'm only calling them that out of defense because they have provoked me by accusing me of crimes that I have not committed whatsoever.
And again, chat, there needs to be an enforcement level equally across Twitch. I will not argue with that. But also, you have to remember, guys, it is your choice to react to it or not. Yes, you are saying that it is in your defense, and I'm not saying that what these people are saying is correct, right? Until it is proven. But what I'm saying is, even if you're provoked, you have to still abide by TOS. Being provoked is not an excuse to break TOS. And that's it. That's it, chat.
Going in on allegations that went nowhere almost a year ago now, I think it's pretty reasonable if I call them a name or two.
Oh yeah, people aren't even allowed to talk about it, right? But you can't make up the final judgment call without the final judgment call being there, you know what I mean? You can't say that he did this when we don't know yet.
So I want to let you guys all know this. This is the same website where Hassan calls me where Hassan calls Nuxtaku a pedophile, who calls Mudahar a pedophile.
I'm not even going to get into Hassan stuff, but again, I'm going to say, chat, Twitch needs to equally enforce the stuff that they bring down on creators.
Who calls Asmongold a pedophile and a mother killer, bringing up Asmongold's dead mother. No ban, no punishment. Mike from PA calls me a pedophile, calls Nuxtaku a pedophile, calls Asmongold a pedophile, calls him a murderer. No ban. Calls for the death of Asmongold. No ban. Denims, who is also called
I don't know about all these claims that he's making, but if they are true, that person absolutely deserves a ban.
For the death of Asmongold, no ban. Hassan, who has radicalized his audience to supporting terrorism, no ban.
I will say, Hero, from stuff that I've kind of like seen in passing, I'm not 100% on the Hassan stuff, and honestly, I don't care to be, but I will say this: if the things that I've seen in passing are true, like he is saying, then they deserve a ban.
Frogan, who supported 9/11, no ban. I call an OnlyFans girl a whore.
To my knowledge, Missy
After
Center
she called me
Celiac.
a career-ending, life-ending accusation.
I gotta tell you though, chat, remember, because you were reacting back in your defense or whatever, right? That doesn't excuse you from breaking TOS. You know what I mean?
No punishment. I get 7 days. Do we get why this
I really
is
wish
a
there were
problem
clips.
now? Do we understand why this is bad? And sure.
Makes sense.
Could you make the argument, well...
It makes sense that all these other people are doing stuff and you are the only one that gets banned for it. I understand that frustration, but I'm gonna be real. You deserve the ban. You can't say that stuff about people, regardless if it's in your defense or not.
He deserved it. Sure. But Twitch, I wouldn't have to make these comments if you guys would do your fucking job. If you guys were to...
No. I wouldn't have to make these comments if you would do your job. No, it is your choice and your brain what comes out of your mouth. You made that decision to spout out what you did. Yeah, I agree, Crazy. His point about it being unequal is 100% true. They have not equally enforced stuff. But bro, it was your decision to say that. You can't put that on Twitch.
To ban people...
You can't say those things regardless.
...equally and fairly when they cross the line, then I wouldn't think that I can do the same thing as the rest of these fucking people.
I get where he's coming from on that because Twitch is very not good at spelling out stuff. It's very hazy. It's very murky. So I get why he would say, oh, well, I would think that I could do these things, seeing other people do it. But at the end of the day, dude, like, why? You know what I mean? Like, just because everybody jumps off the bridge doesn't mean you should too, you know? Like, these defenses are not as strong as you think.
I suppose I'm a martyr. I suppose I can once again get punished for the wrongdoings of everybody else, and maybe that will put the fear in them to get their act together. But it won't, because these people know they can get away with these misdeeds, with these malpractices, because you don't enforce your TOS fairly.
I do agree with that, though. I wouldn't say he's a martyr, but I do agree with that, which does not enforce their TOS across the board. That is a fair statement. Look, we can do this Twitter thing where we're like, oh, well, I'm more morally high ground than you are, right? I'm not going to do that. I'm be real with you. I can see how he could think that, but at the same time, when you're that high up as well, bro, you got to protect yourself. Like, you got to have a thought process of, this could get me banned. This could be a problem. It is my choice to do this or not. And if you choose to do that, you have to suffer the consequences, you know?
You do not enforce your TOS equally. And this is why I will be streaming on Kick and YouTube every single fucking day during this ban. Again, this is pathetic rat behavior. And Twitch, I would like to let you know now, 24 hours ago, I have already recruited over 55 streamers to stream on YouTube and Kick. It has now been 72 hours, and I have now recruited over 110 creators to stream on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick. This is not a good look for you guys. This is a horrible look.
I'm not sure if he's upset about the lack of balance rather than him being banned. I can't really tell. All I can tell you is that he deserved the ban, which is not equally enforcing stuff. There you go. But I mean, we already, chat, that's not news. Like, that's not new type of news at all. They've been unequally enforcing for VTubers for months, years at this point. So like, why are we acting like that's news? It's not. It's just because it deals with him that he's very upset about making this YouTube video, right? But I'm gonna be real, you deserve the ban on that one, Tectone. I'm sorry, and it sucks. But you can't just break TOS in a retaliatory manner. End of story. You know what I mean?
You should be ashamed because you know this shit is unfair. You know this shit is bullshit.
They don't care. They don't care.
Have a TOS where you do not enforce it equally amongst all creators. And this is the reason why you guys are getting sued. And now you guys know
that they're getting sued
in a court of law can use me as an example of you guys unfairly, once again, misusing your TOS. I call these women.
Here's the thing, though. They did misuse their TOS. They looked at the TOS and fairly enforced it on you. Yes, they are unfairly not enforcing it on other people, but they did fairly enforce it on you.
A name as an insult when they are giving me life-ending, career-threatening allegations and accusations. This is the reason why so many male...
And again, chat, that stuff should be dealt with.
...creators have disappeared.
I didn't get to see the first clip because he didn't show it, so I would like to see
over
that.
False allegations. You guys need to take this shit seriously. It's pathetic, and you guys should be ashamed. Now, I'm going to be over here on YouTube and Kick making way more fucking money than I ever made on your platform, regardless. And Twitch, I want to let you know, in 3 days, I have now made more money on Kick than I made in a month on streaming on Twitch. I do not give a fuck about the money that I'm losing off of Twitch at all. I don't need it. I'm a multimillionaire. However, just understand, I'm not going away. And in 7 days, I will come back. And I will continue to showcase the hypocrisy and the blatant abuse of power being used by your moderation team that is treating your streamers like shit unfairly, besides the one you like. You should be ashamed. The best way to get revenge if you are upset on Twitch right now is to share this video, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and be there every single time I go live, so I can be a constant reminder of how this platform keeps on getting fucking worse. What a fucking joke. May God have mercy on your soul. Have a wonderful day.
And that's why I gave you the background to the story. And, you know, we made some claims in here. I've seen some stuff in passing. I can't confirm all of his statements are true. You know, take it all with a grain of salt. But I do trust Walk. If Walk says that all those things are true, I would trust that. You know what I mean? So you have to understand that when people say shitty stuff about you, especially if it's untrue, right? The best thing you can do is let things speak for themselves. I have people that don't like me, and that's okay, right? They're entitled to their opinion. But my thing is like, sometimes being retaliatory and sometimes trying to engage back is not the way to do it. Like, sometimes the truth will come out, you know what I mean? The truth always presents itself. So why would you spend all your time, and don't get me wrong, the allegations are very bad, right? Why not let just the police stuff come out, prove your innocence, and that shuts everybody up? And then you can go after them, you know what I mean? Like, it's a justified ban. I'm really sorry that they're saying these things about you that have not been proven yet, because it's still in the process, right? And maybe that's a separate thing that Tectone needs to take care of through the legal process. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what he can do about it. Maybe there's something in there that he could do in regards to that. But what I will say is that you cannot be retaliatory and pretend that you were exempt from TOS because of that. This TOS in particular is reflected. Negative statements or attacks related to a person's perceived sexual behaviors activities. That is clearly the W word. You know what I mean? Now, I don't want to take away from his point. There is unequal enforcement, because that is absolutely true. He is absolutely right about that, 100%. So I think my takeaway from this is, heck, unfortunately, you're the ban on this one. You can't say stuff like that. You shouldn't say stuff like that. Some of the thought processes for me are like, no, but what I will add to this as well, chap, on top of this is, I do think that what he said about enforcement being unequal, I will agree with that. Right, exactly. You're proving innocent, the damage is still done. Never truly goes away, so while he said he was wrong, I can understand why he did in the moment, right? But that's the difference, right, between being an emotionally intelligent person. You can't just be retaliatory, because at the end of the day, you are still responsible for what happens on the website and, of course, following TOS, regardless of the circumstances, you know? That's it. Well, there is Tectone's ban, chat. So there you go.